Hi everyone, welcome to another video brought to you by Skeins on Maine. I receive a lot of comments and emails from people who really want to learn brioche, but they're intimidated by it. So I thought that maybe today what we would do is start with a simple one color brioche. This is just a real simple pattern. I thought maybe if you could see it, it might inspire you to do it. Okay, so you're going to start with an odd number of stitches. I'm going to do 2 edge stitches here. So I'm always going to have the first 2 and the last 2 stitches as knits. I'm going to knit 2. Okay, now I'm doing what's called the setup row. So the setup row is because I can't do the brioche stitch yet. So the setup row is yarn forward, which means bring my yarn to the front. Slip 1, which is always done purlwise, and yarn over. So my yarn comes over to the back, and then I knit 1. So really, I can leave my yarn in the front for this, and it'll automatically come over. Watch. Yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over. If you look, I'm kind of holding it to the back. And then knit 1. Yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over, and knit 1. See how the yarn comes over the top of the needle? This isn't so bad. It's abbreviated YF-SL1-YO. That's yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over, and then knit 1. Yarn forward, slip 1 purlwise, the yarn over is natural, and knit 1. Yarn forward, slip 1 purlwise, yarn over happens naturally, and knit 1. Yarn forward, slip 1 purlwise, yarn over, knit 1. Not bad, right? Yarn forward, slip 1 purlwise, the yarn over just happens, and I knit 1. Yarn forward, slip 1 purlwise, I let the yarn over happen, and now I'm at my 2 edge stitches, so I knit 2. Now note, I don't have to follow up my yarn forward, yarn over with a knit 1. My pattern tells me that I'm following it up with my 2 edge stitches. So there is a knit after it, but I don't have to do yarn forward, yarn over, or yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over, knit 1, and then knit 2. Okay, I'm going to turn my work. We're going to refer to this as the right side of my work. I'm going to knit my 2 edge stitches. And then when I come to this, which is a stitch and a yarn over, those are going to be treated as though they are one. And I'm going to do what's called barking. It's abbreviated BRK or brioche knit. Bark is just easier. When it's done on a purl, it's abbreviated BRP, which is burp. So we have burps and barks. It's a lovely conversation, especially when people are around and you don't realize it. So we're going to go ahead and knit those 2 together. That's a bark. And then I'm going right back to my yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over. Remember, it happens naturally. And now bark instead of knit 1. So remember, the knit 1 was on the setup row. So from here on out, this is what I'm doing. Yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over, and bark. Yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over, and bark. Yarn forward, slip 1, a yarn over, and bark. Now remember, that yarn over is just happening. Yarn forward, slip 1, and see when I go into bark, that's when my yarn over happens. Do you see that right there? Coming across the top of the needle, that's the yarn over. So you're not doing any work for it. Sometimes that gets confusing for people. Yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over, and bark. So what I've learned on this row is anytime I have a single stitch like this, I'm doing a yarn forward, slip 1, and anytime I have a double stitch, I bark. Just like that. Now these are my 2 edge stitches, so I know I don't have to go any further. How about if we do one more quick row together, okay? Just to make you feel a little bit better doing this on your own. I'm going to knit my 2 edge stitches. Okay, I have a single stitch here. You see that? So I'm going to bring my yarn forward. I slip 1. There's my yarn over. Here's a double, so I bark. You should never have a yarn forward, slip 1, You should never have two of those together. You should never have two barks together. They should always alternate. Yarn forward, slip one, yarn over happens, and bark. Yarn forward, slip one, the yarn over happens, and we bark. Yarn forward, slip one, bark. See that yarn over? Yarn forward, slip one, the yarn over, and a bark. Yarn forward, slip one, the yarn over happens, and a bark. Yarn forward, slip one, yarn over happens, and a bark. I'm not to my last two yet, so yarn forward, slip one, do the yarn over. Well, I'm not going to bark, because remember those are 2 stitches. I almost did it. You saw me, and I knit 2. So nothing has to be followed up by anything else. You just have to always alternate. What do you think? Would you like to do one more row? Okay, we'll do one more. So my hope is that you guys will actually take this technique and maybe try something different and challenging. Cast on a certain number of stitches. You should make it odd. Like cast on 35, 37, 39, something like that. And do a few rows of garter stitch. Do your setup row. And then continue on. All right, remember, we always knit the first 2, right? Okay, we have a double. See that? So it has to be a bark. So notice one row started with a slip yo, the other one starts with a bark. This one's a single, so yarn to the front, slip, the yarn over happens, and I bark. Yarn forward, slip one, let it happen, and bark. Okay. Oh gosh, I forgot where I was. Okay, so we had a little pause there. I apologize. My animals are creating havoc. But that's okay, because I wanted you to see that you can forget where you are and still pick it up. Now remember, I always say you shouldn't stop in the middle of the row. But sometimes things like animals happen, and you have to, right? So you need to know where you're at. So I look at this next stitch, see how it's a single? Okay, if you remember, we said a single means yarn forward, slip it, a yo, and then this one is double, so that's a bark. And remember, we said we always alternate. So now I know I'm in the right spot. I'm going to go ahead and just finish the row. And then I want you to see what it is I've created in just these quick few minutes. You can do this. This is not difficult. We're not having you do anything with rocket science or neurosurgery here. This is knitting. It is sticks and string, and you can do it. Okay, and that's what my brioche looks like so far. Not a whole lot, but it's coming together. A few more rows and you'd really be able to see it. It's going to look sort of like a rib. It's for years it was called fisherman rib, and it's very similar. There is another way to do brioche, but this is the more common, more modern way. So I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it. Please subscribe to our channel, and you'll receive notifications of any new videos when they come out. We hope to see you soon, and happy knitting.